Well, I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. So, Patrick, first question. What do you do? And could you give us a brief history about you and your next endeavor that we will talk about? Yep.
Well, I'm a software developer
Okay.
and I teach people how to become software developers. And I've been doing that for a long time. And at this point, mostly what I do is post stuff on LinkedIn and Twitter that I think's funny. And that's most of my day. And and then also I'm working on some new stuff, just like I'm interested in uh new technologies,
Yeah.
these new crypto networks, the blockchain networks that allow you to build applications in different ways. And I have some ideas to help people learn how to build applications this way and do productive things.
Yeah, and when you said you post things you think are funny on LinkedIn, those are an understatement because those are in the complete revolution or revolt of the platforms you are posting them on, right? So on LinkedIn, your posts are completely outside the norm of I interviewed this client today and they did that. They are nowhere in that realm. You are just
Yeah.
doing your own thing. So maybe I'll just have a couple of links of your posts somewhere, or maybe your readers already know. So how does that come up to be? And aren't you scared, maybe that is the right word, of going against the status quo?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's always scary
Yeah.
to do things whenever that are not normal.
Yeah.
But I've been pretty abnormal my whole life. And so I've gotten pretty used to people, I don't know, almost anything I do, people look at me kind of weird.
How so?
So,
How so?
well, I don't know. I just do different things.
Yeah.
I'm I will say the things I'm thinking,
Yeah.
and the things I'm thinking are I don't know, just I tend to be very unique. Not
Yeah.
very many people are thinking the things I'm thinking, it seems like,
Yeah.
or if they are, they're not saying it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Exactly. Yep.
no, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So no. So you have even your LinkedIn bio. The thing that drew me to you was, so you had this post about blockchain or something else which I did not agree with, and then after that you changed your own opinion, and then you were like, "Huh, what I said was wrong," and that was very and that was very public, and I was like, okay, so this is the kind of person I want to be friends with, because that level of openness of saying, yeah, I was wrong, is really rare in is really rare these days, basically. So yeah.
Well, I tried to be very unafraid of making mistakes in public
Yeah.
because I don't know. Okay, whenever I was teaching people to do software stuff, the thing I noticed is whenever I would get up in front of people and I
Mm.
would show them how it worked, and everything went well,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
People learn stuff, right? And like they seem to like it, I guess.
Yeah.
But in my experience, when it seemed like they learned the most is whenever it was a disaster,
Yeah.
right? Like I would get up and nothing would work, and I would say things and they would just be wrong.
Yeah.
Like the thing is, like, I have opinions, and as a software developer, most of your job is sitting and being by yourself and thinking about stuff,
Yeah.
you know? So
Yeah.
you don't say things out loud that often.
Hmm.
And so I would say them out loud, and I'd just be like, oh, that I just heard myself say that, and there's no way that's true.
Yeah.
Like, I
Yeah.
know the thing I said isn't true.
Yeah.
And so now I'm in this position where it's like, I can either, I don't know, pretend it is true,
Yeah.
Like I know in my brain, I know I'm wrong.
Yeah.
You know, I said a thing I know is wrong,
Yeah.
and I can either power through and
Yeah.
just continue to go like this is true,
Yeah.
you know, or like just stop and be like, you know, I messed that up, and that was incorrect, and then it becomes an opportunity for other people to see that you know, you make mistakes when you're doing this stuff. Like
Yeah.
making mistakes is part of the process,
Hmm.
and if you're not making mistakes, you're not learning. Like, you know, you when it all goes well, like you don't learn how to react to real life, you know.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like I don't know. I was gonna make an analogy to like robots doing surgery, but like I don't know. Like robots are probably pretty good at surgery at this point. So
Probably, yes. So a random question: would you let a robot do your surgery, or would you want a surgeon to do your surgery, a human surgeon?
well, what kind of surgery?
So one is brain surgery, and the other is a toe surgery.
So well, you know, like a few months ago,
Yeah.
I would have probably been like, I want a human
Hmm.
to do the brain surgery.
Hmm.
But I watched a presentation
Hmm.
by Elon Musk
Hmm.
where he was talking about his new product, this Neuralink
Hmm.
that they're working on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And part of this is a robot
Hmm.
that does okay, so the Neuralink is a device that goes in your brain,
Yeah.
and they have wires that are literally inserted into your brain, and it's a very delicate process,
Yeah.
right? Like they showed a demonstration. I watched a video of this.
Oh, yeah.
Like they showed a demonstration of how it works, and it's like there are blood vessels in your brain, and you don't want to break them,
Hmm.
right? Because like your brain, like you know,
Yeah,
you
of
want it
course.
to like
You don't
you
want to
don't
break
want
them. Yeah, you
you
don't
don't
want to
want to
break
you don't
them.
want to break your brain, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like the humans, I mean, I guess can do it. I guess because I'm watching them talk about it, they must be able to do it. But in the way they describe it, the robots are so much better at it
Hmm.
because it's a very precise movement, and the robots can, like, they've gotten to the point where they can recognize what part, you know, are they touching the right thing,
Hmm.
right? And not do it if it's wrong.
Yeah.
Like it has basically guards to make sure that it doesn't do the wrong thing.
Hmm.
And he described it like their goal
Hmm.
is to make it so this is um like it's just a machine. You go into an office and it's like the, you know, the eye surgery, the
Hmm.
LASIK kind of thing where
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
like it's just like you sit down and a robot does brain surgery on you and then puts your head back in place. And like, you know, I started out listening to this, like
Yeah.
obviously I'd want the human to do it,
Yeah.
but the more I thought about it, I don't. I would much like, I know how software works.
Hmm.
I know how humans are. And if something is repeatable
Hmm.
and can be learned,
Hmm.
like to do it over and over and over and
Hmm.
over again,
Hmm.
a computer is going to be better at it.
Yeah, exactly.
A computer is going to be better at brain surgery
Hmm.
than every single human within, I don't know, 5-10 years. Like I'm not a brain surgeon, and I'm
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not,
of course.
you know, I don't know,
Yeah.
but like just watching them talk about it, like I don't know, it seems like they're so close already, you know,
It,
because they get to use all this machine learning stuff.
hmm.
Man, like they had this demonstration where they had pigs,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And they had the Neuralink installed in the pigs,
Hmm.
and like the pigs would walk around and eat stuff and roll around, and you could watch the pigs think,
Oh,
you
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
and like they showed the pigs walking,
Oh,
right?
okay, yeah, yeah.
And like machine learning is about predicting stuff,
Hmm.
right? You use math
Yep.
to predict actions
Hmm.
based on input,
Yep.
right? And so they would take the pig's brain input
Hmm.
and then try to predict like where the pig's legs are while it's walking, right?
Oh,
Like so
okay, okay, yeah, yeah.
the pig would walk, and like they would try to draw the pig, like where they think the pig is based on the pig's brain.
Yeah, where the pig thinks the pig is based on the pig's brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like they can do it every time. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I was so blown away by this whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, like they're gonna do some cool stuff with this.
Yeah.
And
So there was this another scientist in China probably, who was doing research on monkey brains as well as human dreams, and or those two were in the same video. But basically, the gist of it is the scientist was able to train a model based on your brain electric patterns when you are dreaming, and then he was able to associate them with real pictures. So basically, he was able to infer the pictures that you are seeing in your dreams based on your electric signals.
oh wow.
Yeah, yeah, I saw this in a YouTube video, so I think this might be similar to what you were just talking about.
Wow, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, that makes like okay, I can see how you'd even do that, like
yeah,
conceptually, like
yeah,
you show the pictures to people while they're awake, and
yeah,
you
something like
you
that.
get a
Mhm.
sampling of what that looks like in brain activity looking at that. And then if you see the same pattern in the sleep thing, like I guess it makes sense. Like even without the, trying to get like even if just like math,
Hmm.
the math makes sense.
Hmm.
It's
Yep.
just a prediction thing. It's like I recognize that you're looking at a picture of clouds.
Yeah. Hmm.
That's super
Yeah.
cool.
Exactly. So how did we get here? We were talking about how did the question come up of robots
Well,
doing?
you asked me if I'd want a robot to do surgery.
Yeah. And before that, what were we talking about?
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So, for the toe surgery, would you want a robot or a human?
For what surgery?
Toe, or surgery on your big toe.
On my toe?
Yeah.
Uh, well, if there's a robot that can do the surgery,
Hmm.
and like they feel good about that, right?
The
Like I
robot,
try
the robot or the people?
the people have to feel good about the robot. If the doctors are like the robot can do it, I trust the doctors to
Yeah.
to to make that judgment.
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
like the robot becomes another tool that they get to use. Like I think actually, man, like the robot surgery is going to become the norm.
Yeah. Hmm.
Like it's so much easier to package up a robot and send it to you, right, instead of packaging up a doctor and sending the doctor to you,
Yeah.
or getting you
To go
in
to the
front
doctor.
of the right doctor.
Hmm.
But like say there's some special surgery
Hmm.
that can only be done by a handful of people, and they live in Toronto,
Yeah.
and you need them to do it in Singapore,
Yep.
right? Like suddenly a robot, like even controlled by the human, like with I don't know, I would imagine you'd want doctors there too
Yeah.
in case it went wrong, but
Yeah.
like I don't know, I feel like that's going to become super normal soon,
Hmm.
and it's going to make it so that doctor a lot more people are going to have access to the doctor.
Yeah, yeah. On that note, if you think about it, you can get a lot of granular control with the joysticks, right? Instead of using your real hands, even if it is not autonomous, the robot is not autonomous. Even if it is a manual robot, you could get a very granular control, and that would be still better than a real doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is keep, even if we don't get the machine learning and autonomous stuff down, if we just have the current technology, but it is the network stuff is handled, right? If there aren't any bugs, then we could probably get it faster than we think we might get it.
Yeah, like I see those videos of like, okay, like on LinkedIn sometimes,
Yeah.
you got Bezos and
Yeah.
he's using robot hands and
Yeah.
like the
Yeah.
robot's picking up I don't know, it's juggling or I don't even know what it's
Yeah.
doing.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like, the same thing. It works over the internet.
Yeah.
And the
Exactly.
main thing, I guess, is just lag, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Lag. That is the biggest one. Exactly. But 5G can solve that probably.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
machine learning's pretty
yeah.
good at lag too. Like
Oh,
that's
yeah,
actually a
yes.
thing that machine learning is super good at because it can just predict what it thinks you're going to do in the surgery.
Yeah, but you don't want that, right?
Well, it depends how good it is. Like
Yeah.
you might want it if it works.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. Makes sense. Hey, so coming on to the healthcare system, um, the healthcare system in the US, it has gotten out of hand, right? The medical bills and stuff.
I mean, well, I don't know. Yeah, it's not great,
Yeah, yeah.
but like compared to how it was a decade ago,
Okay, yeah.
it is significantly better.
It is. Oh, okay.
Well, for various reasons. I mean, because like I don't know, it used to even how bad it is now.
Hmm.
It has gotten better in reality than it used to be.
Oh,
Like
I see.
it's we have more people that have coverage now.
Oh, okay.
We have limitations on how much they can charge us for stuff.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
And now when you get sick, they
Hmm.
can't kick you off of your insurance.
Hmm.
And so like before
Hmm.
uh the Affordable Care Act
Hmm. Hmm.
a decade ago, like it was way worse.
I
And
see.
right now, right where there's like court stuff
Hmm.
where they might, I don't know,
Hmm.
take it all away. So that'll be fun. But like it used to be,
Yeah.
if you got sick,
Hmm.
like they would just cancel your insurance, and
How
then
does
you
that work? How does that work? Canceling your insurance if you're sick?
it doesn't happen anymore.
Hmm.
That's the thing.
Hmm.
Like
Hmm.
it used to be, they would just find some excuse,
Oh,
right?
loophole. Yeah.
They would go back. Oh, you forgot to pay this bill, and you missed the 30-day deadline
Yeah.
one time. And if you read in the fine print of your contract, that actually made it so that you can never have health care again, and goodbye.
Yeah.
Like and then like the even if they were wrong,
Yeah.
right? They would
Hmm.
just not pay the doctor, and
Yeah.
then you would die, and then they would go like, "Oh, well, that got taken care of."
Yeah.
Like the insurance companies in America, it's I don't know. It feels sadistic to me. Like
Yeah.
insurance companies, their entire thing is like, if you're gonna get sick and it's gonna be expensive, please die.
Yeah.
Like we would like it very much
If
if
you
you
die.
would just go away and die, please.
Yeah.
And so like I don't know how you fix that.
Yeah.
Like I hear that kind of thing from all over the world, really.
Hmm.
Like anytime healthcare gets expensive, no one really likes to pay for it.
Yeah.
So
Of
like
course. Of
eh, you
course.
know, like we have our arguments about stuff, but
Hmm.
like, like day to day, like I get to go to the doctor all the time, and
Hmm.
my doctors are super cool, and they help me with my stuff. So like I'm not actually complaining about stuff, you know.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. And just jumping all over the place. You mentioned Neuralink recently. What is the next frontier of technology that you are most excited about, and why?
The one I'm most excited about right now is called Chainlink.
I have just heard the name. What is it?
They call it's a decentralized oracle.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And so like what that means is, oh man, like it's so like smart contracts
Mm,
are they are code
yep.
that is automatically executing,
Yeah.
right? Like we agree on me and you, we agree to a thing,
Mm,
right? Like let's say we're gonna bet on the weather today.
mm,
I'm gonna bet that it's not gonna be above 50 degrees. And you're gonna bet that it's gonna be over 50 degrees.
mm.
We'll say Fahrenheit. Because I don't know. That seems very hot if it's not Fahrenheit, but you know, I don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. That is very, very hot. You would be boiling if it was 45 degree, above 45 degree Celsius. Yep.
Right? So like, okay, so like there's now software
Yeah.
that means that if we want to make a bet like that,
Hmm.
we can do that peer to peer,
Yeah.
right? Like just me and you and this code that executes that handles
Hmm.
this contract that we
Hmm.
made. But there's a problem still because who enters the weather data,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
right? Like where are we going to get weather data?
Yeah.
And what Chainlink does is they create this incentive system
Hmm.
where we're going to, okay, so like let's say we want to verify that the weather was above 50 degrees today.
Hmm.
What would we do?
Hmm.
We would go onto every weather page that we
Hmm.
could find
Hmm.
and look at all of the weather on all the reports and go like, did anybody report it being under 50?
Hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And then, you know, that might be enough. We're going to look in 10 different places.
Hmm.
And then uh, now we have 10 different places where we want to get the weather information.
Hmm.
But it's like, who enters that?
Yeah.
Right? Like, who do we trust to enter that?
Hmm.
And so what Chainlink does is they create this way where we're going to get 10,000 people
Hmm.
to load up their computer and go to weather.com and scrape the current temperature. And we're going to ask 10,000 people, hey, what is the weather today? Was it 50 degrees or not?
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And then now we have 10,000 witnesses
Hmm.
to
Yep.
testify that the temperature was a certain degree or not.
Hmm.
And so now that our bet that we made,
Hmm.
we don't have to trust one particular entity or individual
Yeah.
to enter the weather data. And so now, like, okay, think about this is actually insurance,
Yeah.
right? Like you have a farm.
Hmm.
And if the temperature drops
Hmm.
below 50 degrees, let's say, all your crops are ruined.
Yeah.
And so you need insurance to make sure that if that happens,
Hmm.
that you get compensated,
Yeah.
right? And right now what we do
Hmm.
is we pay companies, insurance companies, to take that risk, to take the other side of the bet that it's going to be above 50 degrees.
Hmm.
And we trust them to enter basically the weather data.
Yeah.
In exchange for doing that, what do?
Yeah.
They take all the money.
Yeah.
They take all the profits.
Yeah.
They take they win their side of the bet, and they also take enough to like, you know, buy big offices and pay for thousands of employees, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
so
Makes sense.
like
Yeah. Yeah.
and so like I think the cool thing they're doing,
Hmm.
like they say they create tamper proof smart contracts.
Hmm.
And that's like a contract that runs in the cloud, let's say,
Yeah.
that nobody can mess with,
Yeah.
right? So now as individuals, or more importantly and more likely big companies, we can make bets that hedge against risk, and we can do it without middlemen.
Yeah.
Right? Like we just got one person who thinks the weather's going to be above 50 degrees and they're willing to put money on it. And we have another person who thinks it's going to be under 50 degrees and they're going to put money on it. And then depending on what happens, the bet is going to resolve without any intervention. Right? Like think of like a casino, right? Like the casino, like think how much money casinos have.
Yeah. House always wins.
Yeah, they always win, right? So like this refactors the house out. There's no more house anymore.
Yeah.
There's just the people gambling, right? There's just the people sitting at the poker table and betting on the weather in this case.
Yeah, makes sense. Yep.
Right? And so like there's a bunch of companies that are doing some really cool stuff with Chainlink. And the biggest products that it seems like they're enabling right now is this decentralized finance.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is like this way of doing banking.
Yeah.
All the stuff we get from banking, but like no bank.
So like exactly. Yep.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so the most interesting thing about DeFi was how the loans system worked. So basically, you had to over collateralize your loans, right? So if you wanted say $1,000, you should have $1,200 in your bank, and then you could use the $1,000 that you have, something like that.
Yeah. So there's a product that I really like. Yeah. It's called Aave. AAVE.
Yep.
And what you do, let's say you have some Ethereum or Chainlink or some other token that's worth money, right? And let's say you have $1,000 of it. You can lock up the $1,000 in a smart contract, which basically you keep ownership, you keep the keys to things, but it gets deposited into this smart contract that Aave runs, that they made, right? And while it's in there, you can then, so now you deposit $1,000. You have $1,000 worth of collateral. Like I lock up my Bitcoin in there, and I have $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. And so like, I don't want to spend my Bitcoin though, right? I lock it up in there. I can get a little bit of interest on it. But the cool thing is now I can borrow against it.
Yeah.
So now I can take out a loan, let's say $500, which might be a lot.
Yeah, of course.
You know, depending on the volatility.
Yeah.
But like I can take out a loan and get $500 of, you know, they have dollar tokens. They have a bunch of tokens that are like $1.
Yeah.
And so I can get $500 worth of a token and then use that to buy something else.
Yeah.
You know, and then I have to pay interest on the loan, but like, because there's no bank, the interest is very low. Yeah. You know, and they have this whole community system where it's like, they have like almost $2 billion pooled in this thing now. Right. So like they have like, it's like $1.5 billion, something like that. And then people are borrowing against it. And like, it's creating this whole new digital economy, you know, like of these tokenized products. And it's creating these ways where, I don't know, people are inventing new ways to raise money to build their products, right? Yeah, like they're crowdfunding essentially. In a big way where like some of these things are like, I don't know, $1 billion. Like these people are writing code, smart contracts that are pieced together from like, they call them financial Legos. Yeah. You know, so it's like building any other piece of software. You take a bunch of things that already work, you piece them together, and then you write some tests and you make sure that it's good. And then like, bam, they got like $1 billion. Yeah. And it's like, you know, I don't know it feels like something the world is gonna like.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah. The the problem or the complaint I have with cryptocurrencies is it has always been 5 years into the future. It has always been 5 years into the future, and every after every 5 years we think it is going to be here now, and most of the things are down every 5 years, and still it's not there yet. I mean, the banks keep opposing, or the financial institutions are opposing it, and there is basically no way for me to pay for my chips using Bitcoin. That is the only complaint I have for Bitcoin or Ethereum or anything like that. It is not.
oh yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it would be good if there were some more usage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I like. Well, actually, here in America, they just announced PayPal
Yeah.
is going to be doing Bitcoin and Ethereum and
Hmm.
Litecoin, I think.
Hmm.
And like the banks now have permission from
Hmm.
the government to do custody of cryptocurrencies.
Okay.
So like, I feel positive
Yeah.
about it, the direction that things are going. They're starting to work with, like this is really at its core, this
Yeah.
is software,
Yeah.
right? It's financial automation.
Hmm.
And people, I think, tend to make it into things that make it sound very futuristic
Yeah.
and very scary,
Yeah.
but it's just a database, and
Exactly.
it's just a different way of deciding who gets to change the data in the database.
Yeah.
And right now, it's all the banks. Like the banks have complete control of the database.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, they do. Yep.
They can log in and change it to be whatever they want and stuff. And
Yeah.
the thing I like about this technology is it gives you the key,
Hmm.
right? Like you get a password and you write it down somewhere,
Hmm.
and it becomes the 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 only way that the thing is going to change
Yeah.
is if somebody gets that password,
Hmm.
right? So in a lot of ways, it's like it has a lot of the properties that people like of
Hmm.
cash, like
Yeah.
physical money,
Hmm.
right? Because it's like you can kind of, I mean, it's a secret
Yeah.
instead of a physical thing that you hold.
Hmm.
But like you write down a secret, like what is the difference? Like you hide
Yeah.
you hide a piece of paper, like
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's literally the same thing. It's like you have to have better instincts about security, I guess.
Yeah. And are you worried about the big banks are going to adopt cryptocurrencies? I'll just put it like that in very naive terms. But are you afraid of the privacy issues which might occur due to the big institutions stepping in? I mean, at the core, Bitcoin is not bad, not very bad for privacy. But if they step in, will it void the entire ecosystem due to some bad actors? Do you feel that might happen?
Well, I think there are risks.
Yeah.
They yeah, like I think that, well, Bitcoin actually is very open,
Hmm.
right? Like
Yeah.
part of Bitcoin's appeal is that it is a public ledger.
Hmm.
Everybody in the network has a copy of it and can see what everybody's balance is.
Hmm.
And so like it's anonymous, but like it's not anonymous.
Yeah,
It,
yeah, exactly. If they know your key and your person's name, then they know who you are and your money, basically.
yeah, and like it's hard to like, I don't know, if you do it, like for instance, I think if you
Hmm.
do anything criminal with
Hmm.
Bitcoin,
Hmm.
you are an idiot.
Yeah.
Like it
Yes.
is literally doing it in the most public place that you
Yeah.
possibly could do a thing.
Hmm.
Like the bankers are smart enough to hide their stuff. Like they don't do it on Bitcoin. They do it in their own databases
Yeah.
that they can change at their own at
Yeah.
their own whim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like so like the I think the risk is like they get so much control
Yeah.
that they become the de facto. it becomes way too expensive to
Oh,
do stuff without them.
oh yeah. Yep. Makes sense.
But like, that's adoption.
Yeah. Oh, and another uh, thing I had to nitpick about cryptocurrencies was the currency, the underlying technology is not the problem in my opinion. It is the endpoints. So basically your browsers or basically your interfaces, they might be things which might not be privacy secured. For instance, if we have PayPal is linked to your bank account, it is linked to your home address, it might be linked to your Bitcoin address. So if they know your Bitcoin address, they can track everything, and a small
Yeah.
data dump in Bitcoin and you're messed up for life, right? That is one of my concerns. The currency or the underlying philosophy of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are just fine. They might be totally bug free in my opinion, but the interfaces that you have to interact with them are very scary.
I
And
agree.
yeah, and you might have also noticed when you work with these technologies, some of their library functions don't work. This is always in development, this is not stable yet, and it is, if you look into it, you will understand. When someone looks into it and you have, so you already understand how house of cardsy it is,
Oh
right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you are taking so many different risks,
Yeah.
like this is, like it's not popular in America, for instance,
Yeah. Yeah.
because the banks here mostly are fine.
Yeah.
Like people have credit cards and can do digital
Hmm, hmm,
things and
hmm.
are mostly happy with it and don't understand that there's even alternatives because they mostly have access to stuff, right?
Yeah.
But like when in places where that's not true,
Yeah.
I would bet it's far more appealing. But
Of course.
also like, but in that scenario, there's not as much at risk. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like you're not starting with as much, so like
Yeah.
it's not nearly as scary. So like you start with you wait it, right? And like with any technology, the more you use it, the more you start to trust that it's going to work. And at this point, Bitcoin and Ethereum have been running for 10 years, 7 years for Ethereum
Hmm.
now. Like these are pretty mature networks
Yeah.
that have a lot of buy-in.
Yeah.
Like Bitcoin now has $200 billion worth of value,
Oh my God. Yeah. Yes.
and Ethereum has, I don't know, today I was looking, it's like 45 billion.
Yeah.
And then there's all these different networks that are building on top of Ethereum.
Hmm.
And so like you'll have apps on Ethereum that are also worth $5 billion.
Yeah.
Like this Chainlink token that I was talking about
Hmm.
earlier
Hmm.
is is also connected to Ethereum in a way,
Yeah.
right? And is the biggest token on that network. So you have like $45 billion in Ethereum tokens, and then
Hmm.
you have $5 billion in the
Hmm.
Chainlink tokens, and then you have all these other different communities, and like it's kind of turning into like the internet.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Probably. And the underlying technologies, that is the Ethereum and Bitcoin, they are very stable. They don't have any issues. But the stuff people build on top of it usually is a little
Oh,
clumsy.
oh,
Yeah.
it's not just clumsy, like it's
Yeah.
buggy, like, and
Yeah.
people are thieves.
Oh.
You know,
Okay. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they will try to trick you.
Yeah.
There was a big, there's no, not just, there was multiple big stories like
Yeah.
every other week about these crypto networks and like people putting I don't know, back doors into things
Yeah.
where they get a bunch of people like there was, I don't know, there was
Yeah.
this
Of
one,
course.
it was like, it's called sushi
Hmm.
or something,
Hmm.
right? And like there's like this big brouhaha on Ethereum where they got like $1 billion locked into a thing, and then a dude, I don't know, he took like $14 million or something, like,
Yeah.
and and then like the next day was post, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to take the $14 million, I'm gonna put it back. And it's like, okay, like I don't even understand what's happening. Like, where are you guys getting all this money for one? Like, how are you guys so rich? But
Yeah.
like, but this is the thing. If you're good at this,
Hmm.
it seems like there's it's very, if you can build an app
Hmm.
that get people like,
Hmm.
and people will interact with in a smart contract,
Hmm.
like the reward is very high.
Yeah.
You know, like the network effects with these financial
Hmm.
products is like billions of dollars overnight sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, so if you find a community that is into an idea and like believes in it and is building real software on it, I don't know, like the risk reward between doing stuff like this versus, I don't know, like going to college and getting a job is like, it's like you can make, I don't know. I don't want to make people think that this is a road to getting wealthy
No,
or
of course
whatever.
it is not. Yeah. The
But it's
learning,
like,
yeah, no, go on, go on. You can continue.
but yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's like imagine you would have just learned how the internet worked in 1994.
Yeah.
You know, like you would have been at such an advantage
Yes. Yeah.
over everybody
Hmm.
as the internet exploded, and like you knew how everything worked, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Like you could have gotten very rich by doing normal business things
Hmm.
in a new environment
Hmm.
before other people are doing them,
Yeah.
right? Like you know, like imagine you were doing publishing stuff and the internet comes along, like and people are still trying to do newspapers. You know, like you had a big advantage if you were willing to do internet stuff and be one of the first ones to pursue it. And you know, the reward for being the first one was like billions of dollars. Being like Mark Cuban, I don't know, Mark Cuban has like $5 billion and he invented a video player. You
Yeah.
know, like the 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 risk reward right now is
Hmm.
very high,
Yeah.
and like well, the I guess, yeah, the risk is high too. You know, like all these things are, there's a lot of failure potential.
Yeah. 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 Of course. And starting it as a so college thing is weird. So I talked to a couple of other guests as well about college, and it really depends on how you are and how you are financing your college, right? So I had this one guest, he got a complete scholarship. He had to only pay about 15 grand for his entire college. For him, college was very a very good thing because he got the free gym, he got the experience, he got the people, he had a lot of fun. And for him the college was great, but no one has told me go to college for learning. That is a stupid thing to do not go to college for learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So on that note, it might be it might not be as risky as we think it is, but if you take in the account risks associated with starting a company or starting a startup, then so you have the 90% of startups which fail, then 90% of the Bitcoin startups that fail, and then 90% who are going to fail anyway. So you are into 0.0001% of the the DeFi startups that were started, right? Because
Yeah.
uh, investors might not invest in you, and you might need the investment to build your product, right? So again, you have the chicken and egg problem. um yeah, yeah. uh, so yeah, it is just
No,
like the
it's
internet.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, you know, anytime you educate yourself
yeah,
and improve yourself, like it's, I think, a smart decision,
yeah,
right?
of course.
And if you can do it in a way that's financially beneficial to
Hmm.
you,
Hmm.
like I think it always makes sense to pursue that,
Yeah,
right?
probably.
The
Yeah.
I think the big thing is like just how expensive it is. You know, like,
Financial learning.
well, in America, I don't know how it is there,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
like in America, it is
yeah,
so expensive to go to school.
yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
like if you want to learn how to be a software developer, like
Hmm.
if okay, you're in high school
Hmm.
and they're telling you how to become a software developer,
Hmm.
they're telling you it's going to cost like like $40,000 a year
Yeah,
for 4 years
yeah,
in order to have the basic the you know skills
yeah.
to be a software developer,
Hmm.
and they're lying to you also.
Yeah.
You know, like they don't even, that's not even their goal.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
like they it's important that you're there for 4 years
Yeah.
because they have 4 years worth of bills to pay,
Yeah.
you know.
Hmm.
And what we've learned
Hmm.
through, just new education stuff
Hmm.
is that you can learn how to do software stuff and you can start at zero.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to say zero. You have to be a reasonably educated adult,
Yeah. I agree.
like somebody who can balance your checkbook and pay your bills.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Like
Yep.
you can, live
Yeah.
on your own and feed yourself,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. But if you can do that,
Hmm.
you can learn to be a professional software developer
Yeah.
in 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
And I've helped thousands of people do that at this
Hmm.
point. And like, it is uh, outrageous
Yeah.
that they're telling people it takes 4 years and hundreds of thousands of dollars,
Yeah.
right? And it makes me just wonder, like, I don't know, this whole system it feels very exploitive to me. It feels very, mm, it feels very focused on the school's goals.
Yeah.
Like the school wants to make as much money as possible,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
They're in business.
Yeah.
They are a business,
Yeah. Of course.
and it's like with any business, your goals are to make as much revenue as possible
Yeah.
and to spend as little of it as possible on your bills,
Yeah.
right? And the
Hmm.
educating of people is what they consider the bills,
Yeah. Yes.
so
Ironically. Yeah. Yep.
they don't want to spend money. Like their goal is to take your $160,000 and keep all $160,000 of it,
Yeah.
right? Any of the money that they have to spend teaching you stuff is like, oh man, like they'll do it, you know,
Yeah.
they will do it, but like I don't think it's the fastest way,
Yeah.
you know. Like the model that they have is
Yeah, of course it
very,
is not. Of course it is not. So, uh, college for learning is utter stupidity. If you are going to college for learning, you are utterly stupid. You should not do it. I mean, if you spend 15 minutes on the internet, you will understand. You will not learn shit in college. I mean,
yeah.
that is clear. But then again, you need the piece of paper, right? Right now. Uh,
No, I mean, well, I think that's true,
yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
that is definitely a lot of people's experience.
Hmm.
But in my experience, it's not actually nearly as important as people make it out to be.
Yeah.
Like I don't have a degree
Hmm.
from a school.
Hmm.
Like I went to like a school that was gone,
Yeah.
literally out of business by the time I was graduating.
They
Like
were
if
really good at
anybody
teaching. They were probably really, really good at teaching then.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, they were. Yeah, I didn't. I made friends there,
Yeah.
and I made connections to people that are still valuable to me in different ways. But like, I didn't learn any. Like, dude, like my teacher was literally learning Java at the same time as us, and it's like I could have just gotten on the internet and like read this stuff there. It's like I learned very early on that the internet is, I don't know, the best resource that we've ever come up with.
Of course.
And like, if you're ignoring it in your learning, like, I don't know, like, I don't understand. People need guidance,
Yeah.
right? I don't understand why we need to pay to learn almost anything at this point.
Yeah, of course.
Like
Makes sense.
there's so much free knowledge out there, right? And the only thing that I think is really lacking is incentivizing sharing it,
Hmm.
right? And incentivizing helping each other.
Hmm.
And so like I know I'm the school, the app that I'm working on,
Hmm.
the Try School, I'm calling it, where we're gonna have a token where as you go through classes and as you complete exercises, you're going to earn the token for going through it. And you're going to earn the token for helping other people through,
Hmm.
right? So, like, you learn how to do stuff with JavaScript
Hmm.
and you're going to get a token. And part of getting that token is like you owe the school something, right? And like, right now we make it so that the only way to pay is with money, but like you could also pay by helping the teacher run the class better,
Yeah.
right? Like imagine that everybody was trying to help each other learn instead of having this, like, I remember school like is just this weird competition between everybody where like
Yeah.
everybody feels like it is a ranking game,
Yeah.
right? Like they feel like they need to be ranked higher than you. So like there's no, like, even if you do stuff together, there's no there's no real incentive other than, you know, you want to make friends and stuff, right? So like I want to create a real incentive for this. And so you earn these tokens going through. And then we're going to learn skills that are going to make you employable. And then we're going to have this mechanism where as people go get jobs, like part of this is learning how to get a job. Like you do not finish the school until you get a job. Like you're going to have an exercise, like your final exercise is go get a job. Like no one's going to do it for you. Like that's not how it works. Right. So like we want the people that are going to be willing to do that, and they go out and they convince somebody that they are worth hiring, and they are going to pay money to the smart contract, and then all of their classmates are going to win. And so like this is where the value, I think, I mean, I could be wrong. Like, you know, it's like, it's still in my head at this point. I'm trying to get it out. But I think the value will come from like, you know, you own a piece of this school that we're all building together, and we are directing in a way where like we try to better ourselves in economically, right? Like we learn valuable skills, and then we go out into the world and we turn it into money, and we all benefit because we all helped each other get there.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right. So like I kind of have some ideas on, you know, I hate that I get so mad at school.
Yeah.
Right. Because I'm not like, I love learning.
Yeah.
I love teaching stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to teach, and I want to be able to learn, and I want that to be accessible to everybody.
Yeah.
Right. And I don't mean like you can go on YouTube and watch videos and learn stuff yourself. Right. I mean, all of the benefits that we get from organized school, like having people around you and having people who are knowledgeable and having mentors. And I want to bring all of that to the educating ourselves, you know, learning as a group, and making us all smarter and all better at our jobs. And then we go out and we translate that eventually into economic value. And then owning a piece of that machinery has value. Right. So like by learning and by teaching, like we made this value come out of the ground essentially.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yep.
And so like I'm still working on it.
Yeah.
And I don't even have this written down necessarily, other than on Twitter and LinkedIn, where I just post random like parts of my ideas.
Yeah.
Right. And then I try to work them out with everybody watching.
Yeah. And the distinction you made between watching YouTube videos and then having a learning community, that was something that I was not able to wrap my head around. That nuance is present there. I was not able to understand that. So I thought what you are doing is unnecessary, because you can just watch Udemy videos that you ripped off from torrent and you can get the same knowledge. But the collective learning factor, I think, is there is something which needs to be capitalized would be a bad word, but it can be capitalized basically.
Yeah, like I love YouTube and all the videos and stuff, and I think that's actually, that's how I learn. I watch other people do stuff and read stuff, and so like I kind of picture the way the content is going to be like Wikipedia. Like anybody can submit anything, right? Like I want okay. So you go through and you learn JavaScript, and you're going to learn how to do for loops, and you're going to have some exercises where you make some for loops and you practice, right? And then you're going to make a video at the end.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to talk into the camera, and you're going to tell me how for loops work. And then what's going to happen is you started this with a group. Let's say you're paired up with 5 people that you're going through this class together with. All 5 of you are going to watch each other describe how for loops work and like sign off until all 5 of you are ready to go forward. Okay. And none of you are going forward until all 5 of you are ready.
Yeah.
And you're all going to make videos where you prove to each other that you can do this. And then as you post the videos, whoever has the best explanation for how these things work, like, you get more popular. People watch your video. And as people watch your video, you get tokens.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So like, as you create content and help people through the group and learn how to do stuff, you earn tokens for helping, right? For making better content, for fixing problems with the content, the class, you know, like, I'm probably going to have to write the first version of the content, but I kind of imagine that it will eventually become very crowdsourced, like Wikipedia, and like, I think that is, man, like, I don't know. I remember being a kid and Wikipedia wasn't a thing. And we had physical encyclopedias.
Yeah.
And like, they were terrible. Like, there was barely anything useful in them. Right. And like, Wikipedia came along.
Yeah.
And suddenly everybody could contribute. And it got so much better, so much faster.
Yeah.
And it's like, I think we can do the exact same thing for learning content.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. And before I ask another question, what do you think will be the major challenges in the entire endeavor? According to you, this is the biggest thing very difficult to get over.
The challenges, I don't think there are technical challenges.
Yeah, technically, yep.
I think I have a pretty good idea technically how to make this happen. I think the challenges are going to be I need to be able to communicate this clearly enough for people to understand it in a simple way.
Yeah.
And then I need help, and I need to get better at letting people help and putting people in a position to help.
Yeah.
Because like, what I'm describing, I can't do by myself.
Yeah, of course.
Like, I want to build this community-led effort to teach each other stuff. And like, I don't know, I'm not good at building community, I guess.
Exactly.
Like it's not my thing, like, I just never tried to do it, I guess. Like, because it's never been a need, like, I'm a software developer, and like, organizing stuff is like, I organize code, and like, I organize my my team and around me and stuff. It's like, it's not the same thing, like.
So the challenge which I had in mind was the amount of people you need for this will be large, a very large amount of people. So how do you get that seed people, starting people? That I thought is the biggest problem, because if you were a mega influencer, you could just spun up 1,000 people out of nowhere, right? If you had a ton of following. And that is something which Gary Vee has been talking about a lot. You need people to create any kind of impact. If you're a software developer, you need thousands of people to watch your stuff so that you can actually build things which help a lot of people. And that is a very chicken and egg problem again, because the people who spend time on their stuff and they are good at it don't have time to spend on creating content, posting photos and whatnot. And the people who do that, they don't know the enough of the technical stuff which you guys know. And how do you bridge that gap without, that is the biggest problem. Because I'm pretty confident you will be able to build this technically, but then getting people on board or even getting your message out to people will be very difficult, right? Because people are very lazy, they don't want to do shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very hard. Yeah. I mean, like I struggle with it every day.
Yeah.
You know, I wake up every day and I'm like, I want to make this happen.
Yeah.
And no one's listening to me.
Yeah.
You know, this is why I'm escalating on LinkedIn, really, and Twitter, and getting more bold with the things I'm saying. It's because no one's listening to me.
Yeah.
And I want people to listen to me.
Yeah.
Except, like, I don't know what to say yet.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
So, like, I'm still trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
And my plan for that, you know, like, you know, I can see the logic in starting and having a big following and blasting it out to tons of people. But I think what I'm looking for, like my plan right now, once I have a class that I feel like I can train people how to do this, like I'm ready to go. My plan is to get 20 people and we're going to learn how to do this together.
Yeah.
And then everybody is going to think of it like martial arts.
Yeah.
Right? The first 20 people, they train through and they become black belts in the system. And then they can start their own dojos. Right? So like the first group of people are, I need a group of people that are very committed to the idea,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes.
And I don't think I need that many of them if I find the right ones.
Yeah, correct.
But like, I don't know how to do that either. You know, it's hard because like,
Yeah.
you know, because I don't have money.
Yeah.
You know, like money makes everything easier.
Yeah.
So you know, it's hard. I'm. You know.
Yeah, I understand that. So money and so I think people might even work if it is not for the money. You should pay them, but even if you don't pay them a lot of money, they'll probably work. People like me, we care about housing, food to eat, and a place to sleep. That is all I care about, and a beautiful view or a scenery. Other than that, money is yeah, fine. It helps me with my self-esteem, but money is useless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Well, hang on, let me just turn on my curtain. We just had the sunrise. Yeah, better. But
yeah,
that
I agree. Like,
I'm not.
You know, I'm not doing this for money either.
Yeah.
You know, like if I were trying to make as much money as possible, I certainly wouldn't be trying to like, I don't know, come up with a way to give all of the benefits to the community. You know, or maybe I would. Honestly, like it might be the fastest possible way. Like I kind of wonder, you know, like if everybody, okay, if we have some success, right? We actually teach people how to do stuff. People go out, they get jobs, they make money, they start companies, they make good products. People like them. They become interested in this stuff and their success there. Like the first people were probably going to do very well financially because they own a piece of that. You know, it's like any other startup, really. You know, if you are early and into it, you know, the potential rewards are very high. You know, and so like hopefully we would just be very successful. And that would make it way easier.
Yeah,
you know,
of course. And the point you mentioned about not needing that many people, it is actually true. To build the thing, you don't need that many people. Even 5 people have built $1 million companies, right? So you only need 20 people working reasonably well, and you can probably build it. But building it will not be the problem. I think you will. The major challenges we might have are behavioral, right? Will people make videos? Will people follow through? And most people, they are not driven at all they can't do anything for 30 days straight, and even we can't do anything for 30 days straight, and that I think people drop out of real college. So that I feel will be one of the biggest challenges, just how people are.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
And the way I tend to solve that is by putting up roadblocks.
Okay. Yeah.
And if that stops you,
Hmm.
like, this isn't for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, like, I want people who are willing to do stuff that's hard,
Yeah.
stuff that is a challenge for them,
Hmm.
and people who aren't going to give up immediately.
Yeah.
Right. And so I kind of imagine the first thing everybody, there's going to be like a series of things that everybody has to do.
Hmm.
And like they'll be easy, but like annoying probably, like,
Yeah.
like introduce yourself to everybody and
Yeah.
make a video, like telling us about yourself, that kind of stuff. And like, if that kind of stuff stops you because you're shy,
Yeah.
like maybe this isn't the right thing for you. Right. And like, I don't know, like I would rather find that out early.
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And make sure that the group that we are left with is strong.
Yeah.
And then like expand from there.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Rather than trying to be as inclusive as possible at the beginning.
Yep.
And in fact, I kind of think the strategy is going to be to try to not be inclusive. Like, I mean, inclusive is the wrong word. Like,
yeah, of course. People who
like,
want to do it will do it, and those who don't, they will just drop out. That is what you mean by inclusive.
yeah,
Driven.
like if you're not willing to put in the work, then like it's fine. Like, no, most people aren't.
Yeah.
Like most people don't want to become software developers.
Yeah.
So if that's not for you, like it's no, like I'm not offended.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. And have you thought about creating a version of this, but without the tech first, to alpha test your idea? So you can have a Discord server and you can do the same thing with 10 people. And if they are able to follow through, then you can build the actual product, because you are going to spend years building that, right?
Well, yeah, I've thought about that.
Yeah.
Like we were doing meetups before COVID.
Oh, yeah.
And then that stopped all the meetups.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea. I have this Discord server already.
Oh,
nice. Like I don't know if you could put that in the show
sure,
notes.
of course, we can put everything. It's a free show. Yeah, you can put anything you want.
And then yeah, I mean, I'm trying to do that already. My goal is to do some like workshops by the end of the year. Yeah. Just start doing regular meetups. We'll I don't know. We'll pick something and learn it, and then try to get a group of people who are interested. And then once we have the right group, start the prototype, right? Like you're right. We don't need the software to be perfect to get started.
Exactly. Yep.
And in fact, if we start learning the stuff, everybody can help build it.
Yeah.
Like if I teach you how to do the stuff, that's the cool, like suddenly, like that's more people that are able to contribute to the project and make it stronger.
Yeah.
So like, I think you're right. That it's smarter to get started sooner than later.
And you also mentioned you have a farm and you are willing to take people to live on it and then teach them how to code, and then they'll live on the farm and build the product. Is that offer still up?
Well, so I don't have the money to do that yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But honestly, that's the goal. The goal is I want to buy some land and I'm going to put, I want to put like 300 cabins on it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like nice cabins. Yeah. Right. And I want it to be a center for community learning. Like I want people, okay, let's say that you're going through the program and it's a 4-month program, right? And like, I don't know, you got to do a week in person. You guys have to meet up and you're going to have to pitch your products to each other and help each other in person with stuff, right? And like, you're going to all travel to the cabin. It'll be like Airbnb. You just rent the cabin for a week, and you stay there for a week, and there will be a classroom where you guys can whiteboard and do all the things to learn, right? And like get some of the community experience of going to college and interacting with people and networking and just like in-person learning without needing to spend $1 million to do it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you just rent a room in a hotel basically for a week, and like you get to meet up and build stuff and like do all the in-person stuff after like you're already confident you can actually do it. You know, like at this point you've been at home and you've been on Zoom with people and like you know them, right? And you at this point I kind of envision you want to meet them.
Yeah, of course.
Right? So like yeah, I would love it if everybody would come hang out for a couple weeks, so that you know, because I feel like it's hard to make a community if you don't.
Yeah.
You know, like remote communities are cool. You know, and like
They're not the real thing though, right? Yep.
yeah, it's so much better if you know each other in person, or at least like there's some amount of knowing each other. Like you don't have to hang out with each other forever.
Yeah.
You know, but like hey, it's the week before you're all going to go interview for jobs. You spent 4 months, you put your life aside to learn how to do this. You are trying to change your life. I want you guys to spend 1 week together and make sure that you practice and ask each other things and talk to each other and make sure your clothes are nice. You know, like the normal things that we do in person every day that are just like are missing from, like if you sign up on a course on Udemy, like you're not going to get friends. You're not going to make, I don't know, people, like you're not in it with anybody. You know, it's like it's a solo pursuit. And I think that's the thing that is, it's just not as fun.
Yeah.
You know, this is why everybody likes college, is because you make friends.
Yeah.
You know,
exactly.
it's like, so like, let's bring the friend part to the community part of it to the process and leave the cost. Like
yeah, exactly. And I'm really surprised that others have not monopolized on the idea first of taking the community and friends out of college, because if you look at college, that is all there is to it, and most people attribute it to that. We have college, we like college because college is fun, and no one has tried to take the fun and learning out of the physical building of college into a something else, which is far less damaging, financially unlucrative. That is not a real word, but you get the point. Yeah.
Well, like, and also like I imagine in this system, so like I want to set up this I know I call it a farm, I guess, but it's just cabins, you know. It's like a resort almost, you know, in a way. It's like a learning resort.
Yeah.
And we're we're gonna have the try token, which is what you're gonna earn through going through the classes, and that's what you're gonna spend to go to the Airbnb, right?
Oh,
so
okay, yeah.
As you go through the course, you're gonna earn the token, and then that's what you spend to come do this in-person thing. And like you may make money depending on, like, I mean, I don't want to make people feel like they're going to make money.
Yeah, of course.
But like I could see a scenario where like the thing has value and it's worth more than you spend. Like, so like, and that's the goal. You know, the goal is to make it as worth as much as possible, so that it, you know, when we give it away, people want it. Because if it's not worth anything, people are going to want it.
yeah, of course. I personally really feel that you should start the physical stuff, that the things you have to do before, because you clearly have the trajectory in mind, what you want to do. But the tech is just, anyone can build the tech. You can outsource it to India and we will build it for you. So yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think the intention and the idea behind it is really beautiful. But personally, I'm very skeptical it will work because it is very difficult to do. But that is what everyone says about good companies. So I really hope you make it, and I hope to live in one of your cabins in
Thank
one
you
of the
very
coming
much.
years. Yeah, yeah. And to just kind of wrap things up, uh, if you had unlimited amount of money, what would you spend it on with regard to try university or anything else? It's open question.
Wow. I don't know.
I shouldn't call it unlimited. Let me just give you let's say $15 million. That is a good amount of money.
Well, I guess I would probably hire people to help me build this product,
Ah,
you
nice.
know, and I would hire people to help me build the community
Hmm.
and help build the, I don't know, the whole thing. Like, I need help,
Yeah,
like, I don't know exactly how I would spend it, honestly. Like, I have no idea,
yeah.
like, how I'd allocate it necessarily, but
Hmm.
I would get help,
Yeah, makes
and,
sense.
I think it would be, I don't know. I think it would be, if you have $15 million and you want to spend it on this, I think that's a smart move.
Yeah. So if anyone of you has $15 million and are
Yeah,
listening to this,
yeah.
reach out.
Any of you
Yeah,
that has $15 million, I'm into it.
yeah, yeah. No, cool. And so, what do you feel is your purpose? What helps you get out of bed every morning? What is it, that one thing? Is it learning? Is it helping? Is it creating things? What is
God, I
that?
don't know. Like, I have to.
Acha, okay, okay.
I
That
don't
is a
know.
good answer. Yeah, but yeah,
Like,
that is a reasonable answer.
I don't know. I like, I'm very social. I like people.
Yeah,
I want to help.
yeah.
I want to
And the
do. I want to feel
surprising
good about what I do.
and the surprising part is most people probably think you're crazy.
Oh yeah.
I'm serious
That's
about that. They probably think you're crazy. You're not crazy, but need to think that.
well, yeah. I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah, but yeah, it was really fun to talk to you in person, and I hope um, people who are trying to learn more about try university and are struggling to do it in 155 or 255 characters do get a chance to watch this and you know see you explain it the way you did today, because even if you were not able to tell us exactly how the UI is going to look or what the form fields are going to be, you are able to give the perfect intuition about the entire project. Okay, why do you feel it is important, and why do you want to build it? That was something really beautiful, and no one has done that that I know of before. So yeah, I feel that is
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I appreciate
nah.
it.
It's all my pleasure. And which time zone are you in? Just to conclude things.
Eastern, I don't know. Eastern, New
Yeah.
York time. Whatever New York's in.
Where are you located, by the way?
Akron, Ohio.
Ohio. Okay, I don't know where that is. Is it in the middle, east, or the west?
It's like, where it's in the big lakes. There's Great Lakes right in the middle.
Okay, okay. I'm geographically illiterate, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's like by Canada. We're basically Canada.
Okay, 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 cool. So it was really great having you, Patrick. And do you have any closing statements? Anything you would like to shout out?
No, you can follow me on Twitter, the Pat Toner, and I'm on LinkedIn at, I don't know, search for my name, Patrick Toner.
But yeah, hey, this was really fun. I'll stop the recording.
Yeah, all right.